Hi everyone. It's Sunday night, and I'm filming this a little bit early because I'm going to be gone all day tomorrow and all evening. I've got an art club meeting in the morning, and then I go to work in the afternoon. So I'm doing this for you Sunday night. My fingers are all stained blue from ink. This is what I've been doing today. It is a piece of chipboard. It's kind of like the weight of a cereal box, and I've used some texture on it, and I've used some inks and some paint, and this photo is just a print off from my computer on just computer paper, just so I could use it for to show you this, to put this together with. And I've used a lot of embellishments and things. It's a garden scene. This is a picture of a rose that I grew, and then on my iPad I put it in black and white, and then I colored only the flower in purple. That's my favorite color. And then I saved a photo of it. And it's a garden scene, so I've got a little faucet for the garden hose and things like that in here. And what I want to do is make a page with you showing you how I did the background. I'm not going to do all the embellishments and things, but I am going to show you how I got the texture and how I did the spray inks and things. So I'm going to start out with this, it's kind of like boxes that you get for wrapping Christmas presents, or a cereal box. It's just very kind of flimsy, so you don't need much for this substrate. And then what I'm going to use is, this is called Deco Art Texture Crackle, and it comes in a tub, and I'm using a palette knife, and I'm going to scoop some out, and it really takes a lot less than you would think. And I'm going to start by spreading this out. Now I want an area to be kind of flat, because where I'm going to put my picture, let me show you the picture I'm going to use for this. Again, it's just a piece of computer paper, but it's a rose that I grew, and it was right after a rain, so it has all these really beautiful dewdrops on it. So I'm going to put, let's see, I'm going to, let me show you this right side up. So I'm going to put this picture right about here. So I want to kind of leave that area alone. I got kind of a clumpy part right there. You want to be careful that your jar is always shut tightly, because if it dries out, then you won't be able to use it. And you just want to, you don't want this to be smooth. You want it to be up and down, irregular. Different thicknesses. That little bit went pretty far, didn't it? So I am going to need a little bit more. And this goes on really quickly. It washes off of your hands and off of your table easily with water or soap and water. I'm going to get a little bit of it on my table, so I'm going to, on my black craft sheet, so I'm just going to scrape some of it up. So you just go back and forth with your palette knife. Place it down and you scrape it. And you want to use some pressure to get that off of your knife. You can't just tickle it around, and you can't use your tips. You have to use the entire breadth of that knife, and you have to put some pressure on it. It's another little gloppy. Okay, almost got this covered. Just going to get this last corner up here. Getting my photo into it on the other corner. This comes in several different colors. There's a neutral. There is, let's see what else I've got here. I have one that is called Glacier Blue. That. Several different colors. It's also paintable. So if you wanted to just get a neutral color like this light mocha, then you could, and then when it dries you can paint over it, which is a little bit what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm just finishing up on my little edges. You want varying thicknesses, but you want to make sure that you don't get it too thin, or else there's nothing to crackle. I see some areas right here that are a little thin. The thinner it is, the finer the crackle. The thicker it is, the larger the cracks will be. Okay. Got that on there pretty good for the most part. And I still have my area kind of free for my photo. And that's a clump. So now you can let it dry. It doesn't take really that long to dry. I'm going to cover this up again. It doesn't take all that long to dry, but you can air dry it, or you can also oh my goodness, I got some of this on my photo. Or you can also dry it with a heat gun, and that's what I'm going to do to speed up the process here. Okay. This is probably going to take me about 10 minutes to dry, so I will edit all of that length of time out of the video, but it takes just about 10 minutes. And be careful not to get it too close or hold it in one spot too long, or it will bubble, and it almost had it bubble on me just then. Okay, so I'm pretty sure now that it's dry, but just to make sure, I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to heat up the back of my paper. And what this does is ensure that it's dry through and through, and not just on the top and still wet on the bottom underneath. Also kind of helps to straighten the paper back out again. Okay. Little grungies got on there. So now we're dry, and I don't know, I'm hoping that the camera will pick up these tiny little crazings and the larger cracks when it's thicker. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over. It's a mess because I'm not going to take the time to clean it off right now. So I'm just going to turn it over. And the next thing I'm going to do, first I'm going to move it out of the way just for a second. So then I'm going to use one more product, and this is called Texture Glass by DecoArt. And I'm doing this because I'm using just like I said, a piece of computer paper, and I want to looking for something to stir with. I want to protect it because it's just a piece of paper. So I'm going to put this Texture Glass medium on it, and this goes on kind of milky, but it dries clear, and it's just like the name says. It puts an acrylic covering over your whatever you painted on, and it makes it look like it's under glass. So I'm just going to paint this right over top of my just plain old paper printout from my printer. I do have a laser printer. I hope that this works okay on your inkjet print, but you know, you may be using a real photo, and if you're using a real photo, then you would probably not want to use this on it. You wouldn't need to, but I'm using this as a protective coat. Okay, so now I'm going to real quickly dry that. I'm really close to it, but I'm keeping my heat gun moving so that I'm not bubbling. Okay, so now I got a protective coat over that, and it's a little more substantial as well. And I got a mess right there. Okay, so this is called DecoArt Texture Glass. You can brush it on and get brush marks in it, or you can wipe it on, or you know, you could stamp in it. You could pull your brush up and down in it like this to get some texture in it. You can do it, you know, you can apply it however you like. Okay, so let's get this back, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out some palette paper, and I'm going to use my DecoArt Traditions paint in a burnt umber, and I'm going to put just a little amount on my palette paper. This is like a wax paper, kind of like butcher paper, and I'm going to take a big brush and I'm going to get it sloppy wet with water and make a paint wash out of this, very, 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 very thin. And then I'm just going to put it on my page, and I'm going to real quickly paint that all over my page. Need a little more. And what I'm doing is I'm allowing this paint to seep down into the cracks that I made by the crackling, and then I'm going to take it and I'm going to wipe it back down, so that, because I don't really want that color, I just want that definition for the cracks. And I'm being pretty rough with this. Okay, now I'm going to take, I'm using Crackle accents, but I'm also using glossy accents because it's a really good thick adhesive, and since we have texture, then we need all the help we can get. So I'm going to have to poke a hole in it to get it moving. There we go. And I'm going to get around the edges and a little bit in the middle. And then I'm going to smooth it around a little bit so I can take advantage of it and it won't be lumpy. Even though we have a lumpy surface, I don't really want my photo to be lumpy. And then I'm going to glue it right there where I had kind of left that area undone. Okay. And that doesn't take but a minute to dry like that. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go around my edges with the Crackle accents. I'm just putting some down. And I'm just going to smooth it over these corners, kind of as a transition from my Crackle on my background to my photo. Okay? Now, as you see in this, most of these corners are already covered anyway, but it's just a little touch that I like to do. Okay, now comes the spray ink part. And on the one that I made before, I used some fireworks inks, and they come in a set of 3, and so they all coordinate. So I used the lightest through the darkest, and then I oversprayed with Perfect Pearls Mist. For this one, I pulled out all of the pinks that I have, and a yellow, and I have an opaque Ink-a-Dink-a-Doo spray ink in yellow, and then I have Delusions in Lemon Zest, and then I have Bubblegum Pink in Delusions, and I have Pink Gumball in Perfect Pearls, and I have Forever Violet, which is actually a red violet, a pink, and then I have an opaque Red Pepper Color Wash. So what I'm going to start with is this opaque yellow, and hopefully I can do this upside down. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to spray it under the photo, and then I'm going to take a little sprayer of water and wet that down so that it runs, and I'm going to lift up. Okay, let's see what we can do with the Delusions to add some more yellow. And I'm spraying all around it from farther away so I can get a little bit of the spray action. Nice, pretty yellow happening there. With Delusions, you usually want to take a paper towel and press and blot it. That's starting to look really cool. Okay, now let's move on to some of our red and pink. Again, I'm going to go from the lightest to the darkest. Let's start with the Perfect Pearls Pink Gumball. And this is very light, so I'm going to use it for the overspray all around. Let it run. And as it starts to run, then I'm going to pull it back flat, and I'm going to introduce a little bit of heat so that I can kind of freeze those runs where they are. So I'm using a mixture of opaque and a mixture of shimmer inks so that we have some shimmer, but it's not, you know, all sparkle and no substance. Okay, so we get a nice moderate, something in between. Okay, as this ink begins to dry down now, we can see the separation of the colors. Let's go now for our Delusions bubblegum pink. Cool. I'm going to let it run. And I'm going to spray a little water on so it will disperse a little more. You can pull it a couple of different directions. Isn't that fabulous? And this beautiful salmon color starting. We still got that great bubblegum pink. I'm going to come in here with my paper towel and blot down. Fabulous. I'm loving it. Okay, so what have we got left? We've got Forever Violet and we've got our red pepper. The red pepper is going to be last because it's my darkest and it's my opaque. So let's see what Forever Violet adds to the mix. Okay. That adds a toned pink. I like that. Getting it a little bit on my photo, and that's also another good reason to put that textured glass on there, because when my ink oversprays it, it doesn't ruin my picture. It doesn't stay on my picture. I can just gently blot it off. Okay, now let's go for the red pepper color wash, and I'm going to put it in smaller area. And I'm going to blot some of it because, like I said, I don't want it everywhere. I don't want it to drown out the pink that we had put on there, nor the yellow. Pretty cool. I'm going to put a little bit right here and let it run. Turning it. I'll let it run sideways for a while and then back vertically again. You know, I just picked up the wrong thing. I picked up the Forever Violet. No wonder it's real toned. Well, that's kind of cool. But here's actually what I wanted right there was the red, and I'll let it run. Okay, so now I think we're losing a little bit of our pink. There we go, got it back. But I think I'm going to spray a little more Delusions bubblegum on it. And let it run. And blot. How do you like it so far? I love it. I'm going to go back to our, this is a give and take, a push and pull. So you know, you spray a little here and there. And oh, I like how that just happened. I went to the yellow opaque ink, and by spraying it upside down I didn't really get that spray mist, but I got some big drops and I love it. Happy accidents. Let me turn this around and see if I can get one more. Yeah, I got a spray mist that time, so let's just take it right back off. I guess I have to spray it upside down or something. Oh well. Anyway, sometimes you can't duplicate something. I probably could open it up Actually, that's what I can do. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to flick it. To get these big drops. And I'm going to do the same thing with the red. Get a couple of those big red thingies on there. So, there's our background. And then you can go on and add all the embellishments that you want to it. So, this is really fun to play, and it takes 10 minutes and you get something that's really cool. So you should try it. I'll see you next week. Bye.